tourists in the city for months because people wanted to get out of their heads and go see some entertainment, forget about what was going on. And so we kind of like were that show. And it did pretty well. Obviously, we didn't have a healthy run because there was no way to once you get an audience in New York, you need to have tourists feeding into it, or it's not going to survive. So it didn't survive, and I thought that was the end of Reefer Madness. And then Bob Greenblatt, who a lot of you know as a producer, Greenblatt Gialinero, who did Six Feet Under, and was responsible for helping to bring what you call it, was the Sopranos to HBO, and wound up running Showtime, and brought you Weeds, and brought you Dexter, and brought you all these great shows on Showtime, and now runs NBC, who was my boss on the Mockingbird Lane pilot that I just did. Loved the project, and decided he wanted to make a movie out of Reefer Madness. So we got to go up, spend 3 months in Vancouver, the pot capital of the world, and with that amazing cast. And we just had more fun than I can say. Normally a movie, you have a certain amount of time to rehearse, short amount of time to rehearse, you get on the set, you go, hey, how do you do this? Still love scene. And you shoot it and it goes, but musical, you have to, we were choreographing everything, we had to record the music in advance, for the track. We had to do all these different things, so we got all this rehearsal time as well as shooting time, and we just had a blast for 3 months. It was just, seriously, any actor would love that because you're using all your craft, you're working with fun, great actors, your off time is just at the optimum, you're in a fun location. So really, it's truly one of the most memorable jobs that I ever have or ever will have. I think one of the only other ones that were as memorable was probably the Three Stooges movie, not the one you've just seen recently, but the biopic that Mel Gibson produced. And we shot it in Sydney, Australia. Michael Chiklis played Curly, and I played Shem. And hey Mo, what more can I say? And Paul Ben Victor played Mo, and Evan Handler, who you know from Californication, plays the bald agent. And also those of you that watch Sex and the City, although this was like a Sex and the City crowd to me. Played Larry, and we had a great time because it was right after they launched the Millennium from Sydney, and right before the Olympics were coming in there. And January, February, March is their summer, so we were there for the best part of Sydney's history, pretty much. Hanging out in Sydney Harbor Hotel. I looked out my window, there was the Opera House, and right in front of the harbor. It was just amazing. Amazing job. You dream for jobs like that. They only for an actor, character actor like me, they'll come along. When you're younger, they come along maybe a couple times a year. Then they, as you get older, they come a couple times every 2 years, and then once every 3 years. And so it's great when they come. Now things have started picking up. Spent 5 months last year in London shooting Jack the Giant Slayer that Bryan Singer directed. And I think you guys are going to love that. It's very cool. It's a, $200 million version of Jack and the Beanstalk. Very dark, very fun. Although I think they're working towards trying to make it a little more kid-friendly. We eat people. And Stanley Tucci and Ewan McGregor and Ian McShane and Nicholas Hoult. I got to work with all these great people. And the actor I got to work the closest with was Bill Nighy, who you all know as from not Bill Nighy, the Sundance Kid, Bill Nighy, who played
David Jones.
David Jones, thank you, and from Love Actually and all those great movies. He's just a great actor, so fun. And he and I play the main giant. He has two heads, and Bill, of course, is the boy. Do you believe in God? Kind of fierce General Fallon, and I play the more retired head. And he got all the brains, I got all the intuitive parts, but my character has no vocal cords, so I had to create a voice and language for him that only he understood. And so every time the script came up for me to speak, it just said "gack." So that's what they wrote. So I had to create this whole kind of thing, and it was really hard not to go. But it's a creepy and funny character at the same time. It's a very scary character, very creepy. We had the entire Avatar team up there. I'm in London shooting this, so my stuff is all motion capture. And it was an amazing experience because Bill and I had to walk in tandem with Bill. I'm the hand and the right arm, and Bill's the body. And everyone walks like this. Ladies and gentlemen, John Kassir. He introduced me, and so I had to mirror him and act separately with my head and my arm, no easy feat. But you're working in a room like this, maybe twice the size. Everything is gray and white, and you don't have real props and sets. They're all intimated through gray, metal, and wood, and that kind of thing. And you're being picked up virtually as well as with cameras and that kind of thing. And it's an amazing experience because you're creating everything in your brain while they're doing it. And they're shooting it virtually, and the cameraman can literally is capturing you from 360 degrees. So even after they've shot it, they can move the camera anywhere they want. They decide they want the shot here, they can do it here. They want the shot there, they can do it there. It's a really amazing process. He's come so far. So it was great to be able to work on something that had a cutting edge, kind of, no pun intended, technology as well as working with great actors and had an amazing time. So yeah, thank you for asking that because it was a labor of love for madness. Yeah, thanks.
It boils well, it ends well.
Yes.
You finally step out of the Crypt Keeper and appear pretty much as yourself in the beginning and the end of the episode. How did that come about?
Well, they had asked me, over the last season. That was supposed to be the last season. For those of you that know all the seasons, you know that there was a 7th season that was shot in London. That was kind of an afterthought. I think there was some people that were, in syndication or something said, "Hey, we'll put up the money. We want to see more episodes, and we want to shoot it in London." But that was actually supposed to be the very last episode of the series originally. They kept asking me, let's put you in one of the episodes for the last season, and I said, certainly. And fortunately, besides doing Crypt Keeper, I was doing a lot of other shows. I was still doing First of 10, I was doing another series called FM, and so I had a lot on my plate, so availability was tough. And then when that part came up, it was great, and they had written in some really great stuff, including my character pops up out of the coffin when the Crypt Keeper does in the beginning of the show, and he's laughing, he's laughing at this one point and gets shot, and the laugh is supposed to sound like the Crypt Keeper, and they get shot, and spittle comes out of my mouth, which is kind of Crypt Keeper. We threw in a couple little things, but it was a great cast. We had Priscilla Presley, got to act with her, she was in her underwear, which was great, a younger Priscilla Presley, so great. Lou Diamond Phillips, who was great. Alan Ruck, who you know from so many things, including Bueller's Day Off. And Rory Calhoun, who was a cowboy star back when I was a kid. You guys probably wouldn't remember, but he was kind of looked like the old John Kerry kind of character, and Noble Willingham, who you guys know as the colonel in Good Morning Vietnam. So it was a great cast. I had a great time doing it. Paul Abascale directed it, who is actually a special effects makeup artist who'd never directed before. But that's how Tales from the Crypt worked. It gave opportunities not only to bring in great directors like Frankenheimer and Zemeckis and all these guys, but also to give opportunities to people who wanted to direct and make a playground out of it. Michael Keaton, Michael J. Fox, Arnold Schwarzenegger, Tom Hanks, they all directed episodes of this stuff, so it was an opportunity for that. And Paul certainly knew so much about filmmaking to be able to come direct the episode. And so he worked with Joel Silver for a number of